Hello, everybody. It's me, it's you, it's all of us, and we are here. I'm Twitch the Person, and welcome into the next episode of Power Rangers CyberStrike. In a moment, I'm going to unmute and I will introduce the cast, give you a quick recap, and then we will get into today's session. So, without further ado, folks, welcome on in to the next episode. So, first and foremost, as always, we have our lovely cast/players, and playing the role of the Red CyberStrike Ranger, Marika Hammond, we have Chocolate Zombie.
All right, where are we dropping, boys?
Playing the role of Arrow, the Yellow CyberStrike Ranger, we have Cryptic Cyjin.
Wasteland looks good.
Playing the role of Nova, the Blue CyberStrike Ranger, we have DeLuna 13.
I'm okay with that.
Playing the role of the Green CyberStrike Ranger, we have the Internet's Mr. Hardluck.
I just need to punch something.
Playing the role of CyberStrike Phantom Black, we have Phantom Black Dwayne Caruso. We have Rosso06.
In the pipe, 5x5.
And rounding out the CyberStrike team, playing our resident alpha murderbot, Orchid, the proto CyberStrike Ranger, we have Dynamo Tom.
Understood.
And I, as I've already said, am Twitch the Person. I am your Game Master, Dungeon Master, Grid Master, however you wish to refer to me in this setting. I am the mastermind.
You are our Zordon.
Yes, I am the mastermind behind all of the pain and fortune and misery in this campaign on my players and unto myself, because I don't know when to stop writing.
Never.
He says with a smile. So, let me just find out where. Let me just get my notes up here, because, you know, Windows updates and everything, it likes to just doubly reset everything. So, we are good. So, just to give a small recap. On last episode of Power Rangers CyberStrike, the Rangers had arrived in the atmosphere of planet Kelvis, one of the frontline planets that is currently embroiled within this galactic war. The Rangers met with Commander Brannon, the Kelvis fleet commander, on one of the capital ships. It was there that the Rangers received a not so, shall we say, welcoming reception, as a lot of these individuals have been here for a very long time, and up until recently were under the impression that they would be abandoning the planet. Whilst getting situated on the ship and going through their plans, the Rangers were introduced to First Officer Kens, who provided a bit more information and everything like that. And they also ran across a group of mercenaries headed by a Syrian by the name of Dane, a red dog-like alien, not that hails from the same planet as Commander Kruger. It was here they found that Dane and his crew have been hired mercenaries, as is something that is wont to happen in a lot of situations when things look bad. The reason why these men have been hired and are here at Kelvis is known only to certain individuals that the Rangers do not know. But nevertheless, somewhat tense exchange happened between the two groups. It was then that the Rangers, along with the rest of the, shall we say, changeover of Kelvis fleet, made their way planetside to the main base of operations, Kelvis Base, where we now pick up the session. The Rangers left off. So, you've arrived at Kelvis Base. You can see that it's a pretty standard operation base. It's quite big. Not too big that it's, an easy target, and it's actually well defended. You can see various tanks, various turrets, mounted like that. Surface to air cannons, the lot. Like it's a pretty like that. But it's seen better days. You can fully understand that it has seen better days and appreciate that. You land in the hangar. There's plenty of sort of space, but the first thing you can see outside of the Gamma's main viewing section on the bridge is that there's a lot of what seems to be medical transfers ready to be like loaded up onto the transport ships that have come down with you, and not all of them look in the best shape, shall we say. I'm trying to find music. There we go. So what is it you...
I'm sorry about the seizure warning.
Well, the med bay's certainly going to get full.
So
that was Dwayne making a comment about
no,
the
like
med bay
it's
on the Gamma.
well, no, you're not. The thing is, it's not. They're not being transported onto the Gamma. They are being transported off planet. That's what all the So as you've gone into the hangar, the transport ships that were with you, they've landed. You can see that the individuals that are coming off those ships are taking off a lot of the equipment that they brought with them, like that. And as soon as one is empty, they start transporting the wounded onto these transport ships. Like, you see medical personnel facilitating it. Going on, there's some medical teams going on the ships. There's some coming off. Like, it's like a whole procedure type deal.
Almost like a car coming into like the garage at F1.
Yeah. They're just it is just, it's a whole thing. This is what you see currently. So it's up to you what you wish to do now. You know what your mission is.
Marika's first thought would probably be find out whoever is running the base and just go from there.
Yeah.
Dwayne will take a few minutes just to kind of extra secure a couple of the certain areas of the Gamma, like just personal quarters and stuff like that, and his workshop and whatnot. Just kind of because that conversation with Dane has kind of got him like, a couple of extra precautions wouldn't hurt, and just kind of lock down some of the more sensitive areas of the Gamma before he kind of follows Marika out.
Real quick, could I just make like a general alertness check just to, like, now that we're landfall, just to kind of gauge the area?
Well, you're inside the hangar, so if you want to kind of like gauge the hangar, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Make an alertness check.
I was thinking we were outside, but okay.
No, you're in the hangar.
All right. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Get our bearings, so to speak.
Yeah, I'll let Marika roll first. Then I'm gonna make a roll.
Oops.
6.
6. You can see. You can just see the commotion outside.
Dwayne's going to do an alertness roll, and he's going to more be kind of focusing on like who the sort of XO is or who is in charge. And for that, I'm going to make use of the not from around here perk. So that's going to be with an upshift.
Yeah, sure. Just for the audience at home, can you remind them what Not From Around Here does?
Well, it's something that was kind of taken from the Syrian section, but then I kind of made it into more of the Syrian version, which is let me try and.
Because
You have the well-developed senses of a natural predator and hunter, gaining an up one shift to any alertness or survival skill test made to find or track a targeted individual or individuals. Which is why I'm kind of saying I want to find the XO or the person in charge, because it's like that very specific person.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see him. As a matter of fact, you can see that there's one guy standing pretty much quite close to the gamma. You can see it like on screen, the camera, like where the camera is, looking at the disembark ramp of the gamma. He's standing there with a couple of other individuals. They're running over to him, and he's kind of looking at data pads and nodding and giving orders, waiting for you guys to get off the gamma.
Looks like we got welcome company coming for us, so pack your gear and I'll meet you at the ramp. And then Dwayne's gonna like pack whatever there is like in his backpack and then be, like in his winter gear and be at the ramp ready for it to come down and wait for everyone else to arrive.
Unless anyone wants to do anything else for that, that's basically what happens. You all begin to disembark as you come down, and Professor Daxian in front walks up to the individual who's basically looks like the commander of Calvis Base. Yeah, hello. Am I to believe that you are the commanding officer here at the base? And the officer gives a curt nod and shakes Daxian's hand. He goes, "Yeah, hi, that's me, Commander Denon, at your service. It's good to have some fresh faces around here." The vibe you get from this guy is that he's a lot friendlier than Brannon. However, he looks kind of similar to Brannon.
Right, like is he kind of like brothers? Sort of similar, or
Yeah, they look like they could be related.
and his name was remind me again, it was
Denon, Dennon.
Why do I feel like this is a Pokemon situation?
Look, I use random name generators, alright? Plus, I also try to keep a general theme.
Dwayne's going to be behind Marika.
Okay.
It's just more following Daxi.
Yeah. Sure.
Same
Yeah,
with Nova.
Yeah, if no one's going to say anything.
Just letting Daxian take the lead on this one.
Yeah. Daxian kind of says, "Yes, I'm sure. I am Professor Daxian. This is my team. The CyberStrike Power Rangers. But I'm sure you already know that." And Denon again nods as he indicates for Professor Daxian to follow him. He goes, "Yes, you were sent all the information from down from the fleet above. My brother sent that along with a few other things as well. Some things I'm not happy about, but sometimes I wonder if I'm running this base or he is. As you're making your way through the hangar, another individual comes up. This one, you can tell it's an equation, and she looks like she's wearing medical attire. As she comes over briskly, and
Commander Denman, I'm sorry. 1 second. We have a situation. There's more wounded coming in from the front line. I don't think we're going to have the capacity to help. We're running out of supplies as it is. I'm not sure that the ones that we've just received will be enough.
Denon just lets out a very long, frustrated sigh and goes, "Make do with what you can, Sestria. I will see if we can gain more from the fleet, or if they can get a message back to the main base, to the main command."
Oh, I just heard that kick in just now.
Yep, sorry, that is the wrong one. I should have left that on repeat. My bad. There we go. Actually, no, there we go. That is a lot more epic than I thought it would be. We'll just turn that off. That'll do. You notice, as Denon gives the command, you notice that this equation, Sestria by name, she nods, almost reluctantly, and then makes her way back over to some of the wounded, shouting commands, like, get ready to receive, incoming wounded, get ready to, prepare, all that kind of stuff. And you even see a couple of the people, like the personnel going around, is just like, we just shipped off all our wounded. Like, how are there more people coming in? Denon then kind of grumbles, goes, "This isn't a medical outpost." Apologies. As you can see, we are almost non-stop here. Please, if you follow me, we will get further into the base. We can discuss what is happening from there. If any of you wish to do anything currently while you are being led to the hangar, now is the time to do it. If you so choose.
Dwayne is going to be kind of like in that sort of position, kind of like between like Marika and Daxian, and he's kind of going to be leaning forward and be like, "Are you really sure we can't just like lend them the gamma for, I don't know, something?" Kind of feels like as if it's going to get wasted. If not.
Was that to Marika or Daxian? Or both?
Both. Both of them.
We do have medical supplies. Enough to help.
Plus, if push comes to shove, anything that we can do can be done with the dropship, and that's got its own stealth as well.
Yes. We will gain an update on what's going on here planetside first, and we will move from there. Remember, we have our own mission here. You are led then deeper into the base. You notice that the base kind of like, it's almost like the base itself is like ground level and then kind of digs down into the mountain. It's almost like it's been built specifically like inside into this rock face of everything. And again, as you're being led, you can see, you know, medical personnel running up the corridors past you, going through. You can see some areas that have been like converted into living quarters, but they're not. You don't think they should be living quarters.
More storage compartments than living quarters.
More or less big enough to like. It looks like these cots have been set up, and you can see some personnel that are like off duty in there. Some of them are resting, some of them are not. You come forward, then you can see other places that like some things that would be living quarters, but it looks like they've been haphazardly converted into medical rooms and stuff.
The more spacious stuff has been more converted for the wounded. Yeah. You
all get this feeling that this base, that there's more going on inside this base than would lead on, because it looks like it looks like an operations base. There shouldn't really be any medical tech here.
Question: Is there going to be like snow on the floor?
No, not inside.
Oh, not inside. Oh, okay, no, never mind. There was going to be a bit, but
you might get a couple. Like there might be some snow like that blows into the hangar every now and then, but like further into the base, it's like it's pretty much well insulated and the like.
Well, it's rather cozy in a way. It kind of reminds me of back home. Some of the bases I've been in, up against the Rousers and Mousers.
If only a little bit bigger.
Nobody's looking around. Another life. Who knows? This may have been my.
Yes, Professor Daxian chimes in and goes, yes, it is. Forgive me, Commander Denon. I thought this base was mainly for operations and ship and vehicle repair. Why all of a sudden is there medical personnel? Denon himself kind of like he's not like outwardly showing it, but you can kind of see like kind of just like this drop in his shoulders. It is an unfortunate story, if you please. And he kind of opens the door to a conference room again, one that you are all familiar with now. The situation as he walks in and sits down. First, allow me to welcome you to Kelvis Base. I've been made aware of the situations, or that which I was allowed to be told. Your mission, for the sake of security, you are to keep to yourselves. Secrecy, you may share whatever you wish that you think prudent, and we will share with you everything there is to help. To answer your question, Professor, unfortunately, there aren't many bases left planetside for us. Our forward operations bases, where we would require many other things, have unfortunately been taken over or outright destroyed. Main factories, as you know, were lost pretty much to the first excursions here. The civilian outpost completely abandoned after several attacks. This and a few other medical bases further back, hidden, are all that's left of our presence here on planet. That and a few of the front line. I would barely call them camps. It's a frozen wasteland out here. Truth be told, we were all expecting to be leaving. So, the Alliance must have a damn good reason for trying to keep this here. He's kind of now just looking at all of you expectantly.
Well, how much do you know about what happened on Smilodia?
We were given a brief update. I'll tell you that it's the first time that I have felt a somewhat semblance of victory. To know that they could not take your planet was comforting, to say the least.
I'm sure given time a planet like this with maybe a few arcologies in it'll be a nice place to live.
You'd have to talk to the remainder of the Korovian the remainder of the Korovian political powers.
That's above my pay grade at the moment. I've had enough of politics for the time being.
I think we all have, to be honest.
I yearn for the simpler days on KO-35.
Turns to Nova.
Okay, so, he's kind of looking at you all like expectantly, like he's just giving you a little brief overload. Like is anyone? He's just like, he's like not the talkative type, are you? As sweeps the room.
Honestly, I'm probably the only one that's kind of the most talkative of the lot, apart from Daxian, obviously.
It's not the fact that I'm not talkative, it's just taking it all in right now. Making sure we know what we're getting into.
He kind of looks at you, like he takes a longer glance at you, Nova. What did you say your name was, boy?
Nova.
You remind me of someone. Barovian, yes?
Correct?
You must have been a civilian.
Attempted to actually become a part of this planet's development for the aircraft.
Well, you may be one of the lucky ones. There's not many. Sadly, not many made it out of the factories. Those, we're pretty sure there are still prisoners over there at the main one. It's so goddamn defended that we can't even break in. Not for lack of trying.
Yeah,
There's always a way.
Call having things fall all around you lucky.
You have to take the silver lining with things, my boy. KO-35.
Sadly, I know that all too well.
I was stationed away when KO-35 fell. To think that not only here, and a few of our other our other planets that we set up field production on, as well as our home planet under the control of the Alliance, pumping out those machines. It's a heavy blow for the Alliance. Professor Daxian comes out and said, yes, I know all too well the loss of home, but you are an intuitive people, and you have survived, and the production value of every other planet in the Alliance has been percentages of increases unheard of since your engineers integrated with them. There is hope, believe me, and our mission here will secure this planet and many others.
Is there a map in the room, by chance?
No, you just sat around a table at the moment. But yeah, he kind of just turns around and just says yes. Says that. In answer to one of you who said there is always a way, this base is been reinforced with the Machine Empire's top-grade defenses. No matter what you throw at it, almost it's a no coming back mission. Without a capital ship in our first attempt. There have been insurrections from within the base itself, but we are told from our scouts. They have become more frequent. We are aware that the enemy are running out of supplies, as we are. I believe you've been made aware that many of them have been seen dragging what they can back salvage.
We have.
Mm-hmm. Question: this particular base, is it close by where we're supposed to be looking as well, or is it just?
No, it's quite far away.
Hmm.
It's
Marika
far
would
enough
actually.
behind. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's far enough behind the enemy, like from the fighting, so that like, because it was, like I said, it was supposed to be the main tactics and repair base. It does like that. It was one of those. But as you can, like, from what you've seen so far, it's been converted into an everything base because that's the situation on the planet.
The city that we're trying to get to, the city ruins or whatever, that's what direction would we be going from here? Like northeast-ish?
So at this point, he leans forward and he brings up a map of the planet where you are. You see precisely where you are at this base, where it's situated. A few clicks in all directions. You see other little blips and stuff on the map. They're all indicated. The two prominent ones behind, you can see are both indicated as medical hospital. And they are outlined with heavily defended forward bases. And then there's the frontline bases where you can see that it's basically like the best way I can describe it again is trench warfare. There are forward outposts where everything is that are marked. The city that you are trying to get to is in the area which is basically no man's land, which is the dead zone. And he kind of zooms in on it, but there he goes. This was where all of the civilians lived in their spare time. Was a moderate-sized living area, big enough to be classified as a city, like you say, but a glorified town, if you ask me. We were thankful to receive word of the oncoming assault. We evacuated as many of the workers there we could. The ones that were stuck in the main factory, however, well, as we said, most of them weren't lucky. I don't know why Commander Kruger or you would be heading into this area. I've not been aware, and honestly, don't think I want to know. However, I do have a request.
Shoot.
The city itself may have been abandoned, but we have reports and good authority that there has been movement going in and through there these last few months. I am of the belief that they are secretly using this as a storage camp, and whatever other nefarious means are out there. There's been some.
You want us to blow it up?
No. Anything you can bring back, however, or any information, will be greatly appreciated. If we can push the line here, and then he indicates the most western side of the line where the city, where this city would be. We can establish a forward base here, and it would give us tactical staging ground. Certainly help with that, and would also mean we could move from here to that a lot easier. Of course, I only ask this if it's within your power. Veiled hope.
It's on the way. We'll look into it.
Yeah.
It is a veiled hope, but it is one that I hope would ease the tension if I know you are successful in this mission, that we are expected to receive reinforcements from Smilodia. I will not mince words. Many of the men and women here have lost hope. A lot of us want to cut, a lot of them, maybe myself included, want to cut our losses and retreat. But the Council has insisted that we hold this planet. Hope for all our sakes that what you do here, you do fast. So, if you need me, I'll be here. You can talk to any of one of the officers on site. If you'll excuse me, I need to go and coordinate with the medical personnel. He gets up to leave. And then Professor Daxing says, Commander, one moment. We have access medical supplies on the Gamma. If need be, help yourselves. I will inform the ship's AI. Take what you need, but I only ask that you take what is essential. He kind of goes, as he says that, like, Denon goes, that is very kind of you, Daxian. Thank you. I'll inform my medical personnel immediately. And he puts his hat back on and he walks out, leaving you all in this room with this map in front of you.
Could I make, what would it be, survival alertness? Basically just see the terrain in front of us and try to map out what the best way to the city area would be.
Survival.
Anyone want to help?
I don't have anything in survival. Though, didn't Dwayne have a whole bunch of information from the data pad about
Yep.
that he managed to sort out, like, potential routes, and
Yep.
could he put those routes there as well?
Yep. It was all last session. You did a similar role last session.
I can give you a
So Dwayne's going to put that information down.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you edge.
How can you give edge?
Edge or upshift, you mean?
Isn't first edge and then upshift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nope, we've lost someone in this call.
Hard luck.
Yeah. All right.
While they're doing that, I'll just relay to Glyph about the medical supplies.
Yeah, that's sure.
Oh, beep boop.
You get an acknowledgement back. Ooh, 18.
18.
Yeah, cross-referencing all the information that you've received and everything else. Again, you have all this marked out. There are known patrol routes through the dead zone of enemy patrols and ships. The safest option would be to head out to one of the forward outposts, or then making your way on land to the city itself. So it's possible to fly a ship to this forward outpost, one big enough to carry you, but one easy enough to avoid detection. But for the
Dropship.
Yeah, but to get to the city itself, you would have to leave the ship at this forward outpost, and then it would be a drive, vehicle-wise, to this other place.
I mean, we did just get a vehicle.
Convenient.
Isn't a couple of Zords like, land vehicles?
That is.
I mean, but that would be considered,
That'd be a little overdoing it.
Yeah, we did just get the command truck too.
Oh, that's right.
Incredibly
I
convenient,
totally
isn't
forgot
it?
about that.
It's
So
all-
we could drop ship our way to the
FRB.
forward to the FRB, and then take the command truck to the city.
Can the dropship carry the command truck?
That's a good question. Can it?
Well, that entirely depends on Rosso and Hardluck's description.
I think
So
we
the-
did kind of base it on a very particular dropship, didn't we?
Yes, it was the Nasada dropship. However, it's the Nasada dropship from the comic books, which was designed in a way that it could house, that it could have like a vehicle attached underneath it, but you would essentially be flying with extra weight. So you'd have the ship.
Hmm.
And then imagine like underneath it, you'll have like the command ship, like under, like on it with like electro clamps or something like that.
Yeah. It's possible. Like Dwayne's going to say that in character, like it's possible. I mean, if need be, Sigil's got that mass shifting thing. I mean, maybe he can sort out something so that it's just like me and one other, like a co-pilot, and then we just fly the dropship and command vehicle. And then once we make landfall, command vehicle flies out, we join you, and then Sigil just keeps an eye on the ship.
If the dropship now has mass shifting capabilities, could it not simply convert its mass to wheels? This is the first time I'm hearing of such ability.
It no longer. I just want to point out, above game, it did the mass shifting once.
Yeah, and that was it's kind of more internal mass shifting.
It was like a a thing that happened to accommodate it becoming basically it becoming the phantom ship. It's still the dropship, but I get like
this is just the first time Orchid's
Yeah.
ever been listening to a conversation about
Yeah.
this thing shifting mass in any way. So...
Yeah, I'm just putting out just that it cannot be done again. I'm just saying above game, it cannot be done again. It was a one-time
Right.
grid juju thing.
Hmm. Yeah, Dwayne's going to relay that and be like, it's a one-time grid thing. It was simply so that Sigil can be a part of the ship. But, I mean, it's still the same dropship. It can still carry the command vehicle.
Because originally you would have used it if you... Because you and Dwayne and Scott, originally when you were just SPD agents and you were going on these missions, sometimes you'd be paired up with another team and they'd have maybe a combat assault vehicle, like a small one. And it could be deployed, planet side after, you make fall and then they would go off and do what they need to do and like that. And you could pick it up.
Basically aliens and the APC in the dropship.
Yeah, more or less. Or if you want to go even older and a bit classical and nostalgic, Thunderbird 2. Just not the pods. But yeah, the only downside you will have with transporting the command ship is that it's a little bit bigger, and you'll be, the ship will be a bit heavier.
Can it still cloak though?
Yeah.
Would that apply to the truck though?
Oh well, you'd have to find out, wouldn't you? Because it's not. Because for all you know, the only thing that's changed is that you've had an AI in the ship. You don't know the full capabilities of the ship yet.
Well, the only way we're going to be able to find out is if we go. I think we should. If we're being asked to go fast, let's go fast.
The only problem is we haven't statted the ship as the Phantom ship yet, but it's fine. Just to point out, as we have this little small break here, one of our players seems to have had a power outage, and they're trying to figure out what they are, so hopefully Hard Luck will return to us shortly.
Yep.
It's a good job. His character is very stoic and not very no savvy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if in doubt, you can always just AI him.
Yeah, but I'd rather not. That's just moi. So yeah, this is so that is the information that you've just had on screen. You know how you could get there. There's a less safe option, and that in it is that you cross there. You cross to this place without the dropship, and you just fly there directly. But then you risk open combat in the ship.
Yeah,
itself.
no. Yeah, the whole point of taking the safest route is to avoid that. So Dwayne's going to be like, let's go to the FOB and then drive from there.
From from how it was pointed out on the map to the base they wanted us to go to, is that the forward outpost base they wanted us to help, or is it a different forward outpost base?
It's a different forward outpost base. The one that would technically need help is the one that's closest to the production factory.
Okay, so the riskier path.
Yeah.
Okay.
What Denon asked you to do was find out what the enemy has been what the enemy forces have been doing, going in and out of the abandoned city, more or less.
Wait, I thought our destination was the abandoned city, and then it's kind of try and find what.
Yeah. So to refresh, your mission is find out what SPD was doing in this city. What Denon's asked you to do, on top of what you are doing, is, if you can, see why there's been increased activity from the enemy in this place. So you have the main mission that you have, but Denon's asked you to do this as a, as a side thing. Any information you can bring back.
Yeah.
Bring back.
An additional objective.
Yes. You don't have to do it, but it's there. Yeah.
Oh, during this moment, I would have also told Glyph just to let me know if anything sussy happens on the ship, if other people are going in and out of it. Outside of medical supply stuff.
Yeah, no, that's
just
because
I have that link. It's the, if people are snooping, don't let them get far.
Yeah. What you receive back, Orchid, is that there's a bunch of medical personnel, but there's also a bunch of engineers that are going through, and they're actually moving through the ship quite aptly. It's almost like, they know the internal layout more or less. These individuals identify themselves as they are Korovian engineers, and one in particular says that he's very familiar with the Gamma, as he was one of the people that helped design the prototypes in its earlier stages for shifting to the Astro Megaship project.
Does Noah hear that?
No, that's just directly to Orchid.
Okay.
But there's no one snooping or anything, and in fact, there's even like 2 guards posted outside to make sure like nothing really happens. There has been like 1 or 2 engineers that are a bit curious, looking at the various things that Professor Daxian has left running around, and 1 or 2 that even got scared by Pungus.
I leave them to their devices, but I observe.
Yeah, that is
status quo has been reset, so I go back to just observation.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the situation you find yourselves in now. You can do whatever you wish here to find out in the base, but you have your mission and everything that you need. It's just how you go about it.
Dwayne's going to be like, I think we should make a move right now. What do you all think?
The faster we get out there, the better.
Agreed.
Time to prepare and everything here. We can take a few, and then move on with the plan. Wayne,
just take enough to fill up your thermo flask, and then we'll get set.
Yes. Wayne, I will leave the preparations of the dropship to you. You and Scott, and the rest of us will grab anything else. I will liaise with anyone here, some of the officers here, and find out anything else that I can.
I just look over to see if anyone needs me for anything. If not, I'm following Axiom.
Cool.
Okay, Dwayne's gonna head back to the Gamma.
Doesn't look like Hard Luck might be rejoining us. It looks like a tree branch is taking out one of the lines. There's no timetable on restoration yet.
That's going to be a while yet. It's probably better if he's doing anything with his phone, probably better to put it on charge or focus on getting his keeping his battery as high as he can anyway.
Yeah. He's got no power to charge.
We'll just consider him as AI at the moment, or
yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
As
this is. I mean, I don't want to necessarily toot my own horn, but this is why I kind of made like an image just in case like someone would be unavailable. So, good time to show it off.
I mean, I figure as long as we don't get into combat, we should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do get into combat, we can always just end there.
Or we can just have Scott stay in the combat vehicle or something.
Yeah.
He can just be driving it.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
This is why I'm giving you the option to explore the base first to get your bearings. You don't have. You don't necessarily. There is a timetable for this. It is as soon as possible, but there are. Again, I know it's been a while, but I will remind you. I do set up things that will give you extra rewards. Should you choose to follow it?
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm following Daxian. If he goes into the ship, that's where I'm going. Or if he goes into the base, that's where I'm going.
Daxian's making his way, but Daxian is making his way back to the hangar, to the Gamma, just to facilitate a couple of things.
So that's where I'm going, and I'm going to be doing just a proper scan of the place now, because it is getting ready to go. I'll start looking around, more stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll do a perception.
Until the dropship is prepped and ready to go, Marika will just hang out in the base proper, just kind of take a walk around, see if any of the anybody needs help like moving things around or basic stuff. She'll try to help out in the base where she can.
So where would you be going, Marika?
Probably wherever the main wherever the main part of the base is. She's probably just going to be like I said, just kind of trying to see. She's just trying to help wherever she can if people need help getting supplies, or if
right.
So basically, she's a muscle right now.
So
basically.
there's not really a main part of the base, as a lot of it has been converted and stuff like that. A lot of the things that a lot of the traffic seems to go to and from the hangar. So everything comes in from the hangar, and then it gets carted off to the sections that it needs. Whether it be living quarters, command quarters, anything for central operating area, or what they can class, mess hall or whatever, whatever they've got, or whatever the medical stuff is going. Hello.
That's just me doing some perception.
What for?
But as I said, just general state, see if anything stands out as abnormal. Given the information we have, this place has had to pretty much fill.
Yeah.
If anything is standing out, anything that would make me go, huh.
Yeah.
I get.
I suppose, I would also say, while Marika's helping out, she's keeping an ear out of, if she overhears anything that would pertain to our mission.
So, is Marika going to the hangar, or are you going somewhere else in the base?
Well, I'll go to the hangar initially, and then just again, if somebody needs help moving things to a different section, that's what she'll be doing.
Okay. Okay, I will keep that roll. Everyone else also roll perception. I'm going to class this roll as a group perception roll. Only half of you need to succeed. And as I've already said, as you can see, I've grayed out Scott's portrait. Unfortunately, there's some power issues in the area he lives. It's been very windy. It seems like a branch has knocked on one of the transformers. He's got no ETA on anything currently. So,
let me check something.
11.
Damn. If only if it landed on that 13.
1, 2, 3,
That's a 12.
5, 12, 11 crit. That's not bad. With the crit, yeah, all of you more than succeed. It's hustle and bustle. It's very, very hectic and going through. Orchid, you just see techs and medical support, medical people running back and forth. There's the ones that are transporting some of the equipment off of the Gamma. Nova, you see the same thing. You see a bunch of the techs and the medical personnel moving stuff from the Gamma into over other things. You also see them offloading some of the other transport ships, the ones that didn't carry back any wounded. Errol, with the crit, you see Dane and his crew skulking off to the side, talking to some other low-ranking members of the base, infantry, some soldiers, kind of, they're trying their best not to look out of sight, but just out of sight enough.
Attempt to focus in on that.
Yeah, you can focus in on that if you want. If you want to try and head on over.
Sure.
You are the only one that does see it, though. So if you make your way over, are you trying to listen, trying to get close enough to hear? Are you trying to confront them?
Yeah, I'll listen in a little bit.
Cool. Give me a stealth check.
Infiltration.
Infiltration, yeah.
13?
Yeah, not bad. Just about. You walk over close enough to that to start to hear some of the tail end of the conversation of what's going on. You hear one of Dane's crew just growl out, "We were paid here to be here to help you. It's not very warm welcoming if you don't give us all the information we want." To which the guy, one of the personnel they're talking to, is just like, "I don't know anything. That's way above my rank. Is your best going to one of the first officers or Commander Denon himself? Surely and surely Commander Brennan on the fleet would have told you what you needed to do." Dane kind of just chuckles and goes, "Well, let's just say we have a personal investment here. After all, payment's good, but you gotta look out for yourself in these times, don't you? Wrap it up, boys. We ain't getting nothing out of him." And they all kind of just, laugh and walk off, leaving the individual just like, "Ugh. Mercenaries."
The tail end of that. Are you all right?
Hello. Yes. He kind of looks you up and down and goes, "Ah, you're one of the SPD crew, yes? That came in on the Gamma?"
In a sense, yes. CyberStrike Yellow, Arrow. Pleasure to meet you.
A ranger. I had the fortune of meeting the first group of Astro Rangers before they retired. Before this all mess. My name's Kester, Engineer Kester. I help the crew chief here, the hangar chief here. Kind of his second in command. I'll be honest, a lot of us did never expected to see that ship ever again.
So it was in service before?
Oh, God, no. The Gamma was a great prototype. It was a great trial run. But it gave way to the Astro Megaship project. We intended to build many of the Astro Megaships. But it was then commandeered by the Astro Rangers, and only one was ever made, and, well, of course, rather than just being the Astro Megaship, it became the Astro Megazord.
Things that we can do.
Oh, God. I don't think the Gamma would have Megazord capabilities, although it does seem to have received some upgrades since we last saw it. Especially on the inside as well. And it's good to see Glyph is still there.
Yeah, he's an awesome little dude, isn't he?
And that's what he was programmed to be. But I remember the scientist that programmed him. He was a good man.
So then he's no longer with us then.
Lost in the assault on the factories, unfortunately.
Was body recovered?
I don't know. I only read the reports. Actually, I believe our crew chief wished to speak to Professor Daxian, I believe. Hard to believe that Professor's here planet side. I haven't seen him since, well, I haven't seen him since he started going off on that project of his. I'll go and get him, and I'll send him over to you, you and your team.
Gotcha. So what were they heckling you for?
I don't know. They were after some information about certain things certain outposts that we lost within the dead zone and everything else. I don't understand why they're even here on base. Commander Denon was completely against it, but his brother, that Fleet Commander Brennan, insisted. Everything above my pay grade, but everyone's been on eggshells ever since we were told that these guys were coming. They've got quite the reputation out this way.
So they'll follow the money. Just
What
I'm
mercenary
sure you
doesn't?
don't need to be told. I'm sure you don't need to be told to be wary.
Well, we all are. Whatever mission that they were going off on, I'm pretty sure we won't be seeing much of them after this, and part of me thinks that once they get what they actually want, they'll leave us high and dry. I just don't have a good feeling about them, that's all. Still, like I said, I'll go and get the crew chief. He wanted to speak to everyone.
And Errol will walk back to the rest of the group.
Professor Daxter turns around and goes, Errol, my boy, where did you go?
Oh, I saw some of the mercs picking on engineer, and wanted to make sure he was okay.
Daxian kind of raises, looks out, gives a quick scan of the area looking for Dane and his crew. Call it paranoia. don't trust them to be here planet side. Whatever Commander Brennan was thinking is a bad idea. Trusting mercenaries, especially one of his ilk.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both know they follow the money, but like, it's that weird balance of trusting them but holding them at arm's length, isn't it?
I don't trust them at all, Arrow, my boy. Still, we should probably get ready and prepare. It seems that most of the medical supplies they've taken were the ones that were for harsher inquiries. It would appear that since the loss of many of the medical facilities, apart from the two behind the safe line, this is being used as the main one to ship the most heavily wounded off-planet into the medical ships in orbit. Some even get Some even get transported away from the planet entirely if the injuries are too severe. But I had no idea it was so bad.
You know, I was talking to that engineer, and the Gamma does not have Megazord capabilities, but what if we could convert it to function as armor?
Nova would chime in on that. I would love that, but also, god damn, the coding for that. Oh my god.
I mean, given our circumstances currently, quite an idea to drop on us, Arrow.
Yeah, like, where did you get that idea?
Well, they were talking about the Astro ship and how it now has Megazord capabilities.
My friend, the Omega ship is quite honestly the greatest ship that KO-35 ever produced. Like, I love our ship, don't get me wrong, but I doubt that we'd have anything nearly as good or with the Gamma.
It wouldn't function as a Zord on its own. I was thinking more like knee guards. Yes, enhancements for the Megazord.
I have something to show you later, but god, you do not understand the flood you just unleashed right now.
Are you suggesting that our CyberStrike Megazord uses the Gamma as a suit of armor?
The implications of such a combination alone would take months to code, and honestly, the Gamma was never
Professor. Years.
And the Gamma, well, it was a prototype before we got our hands on it, and it's only just received enough upgrades.
Yeah.
Daxian, what technology can do in years, I mean, I'm sure the grid can do in minutes.
Well, the grid is not that infallible, Dwayne.
Well, I also believe in you, Nova, Glyph, and Orchid.
Look, as much as I appreciate that, like, oh my god.
So as this conversation's going on, all of a sudden you hear just a big a call out from walking up to you. Said, "Oh yeah, well, I'll let you in on a secret. The Gamma does have the baseline functionality to transform into things. Programmed it myself." Deluna, you
Nova,
Deluna,
I was
you
gonna say, Nova looks over.
Nova, you recognize that voice. You turn around. The group turns around and they see, and there's a This guy is an engineer. He's got on the overall, this guy down, he's got a wife beater on. It's like the cold doesn't affect this dude. He's got a big old greasy beard. His hair is slicked back. He's got a bandana tied around his arms. His arm, like, he's built. This guy is an engineer that you know, that stereotype like that. He's got oil stains and like that. He's got his tool belt something around like that. He's got a big old grin. Nova, you know this man to be your uncle. The head engineer of many of KO-35's factories.
Yeah,
and
like
current
Nova...
crew, current Elvis-based crew chief.
Nova's beside him, so like, Uncle Maxis?
Oh, color me surprised to see you here.
He runs over to me and he goes, "You're alive!" Oh.
He embraces you like that. He goes, "Of course I'm alive, my boy." I got off planet like that after the third wave of evacuations. I stayed behind to help repair as many of the ships as I could.
I can't. Like, he is beside himself. Like, anybody who's looking at him, you guys have known him now for months. You have never seen him this happy.
All right, enough of that. Let me get a look at you. Well, look at you. Fancy uniform, military type. Never took you for that.
Never took myself for a Power Ranger either, but, you know, sometimes the chips just fall where they may, right?
I scarcely believe the reports when they came here. To see the Gamma flying was one thing, but
Your old girl's a pretty good one, I can tell you that.
She could have been so much more had we had the right brains. Of course, then it went on to the Astro Megaship project.
Don't worry. I've done my best to take care of her.
Still, some of the upgrades. It's Melodian tech. I've only had half the chance to work with some of that, and that was the baseline stuff for some of the guys some of them that left their planet. Yeah, he kind of looks at you, and he said, "I have a feeling I have you to thank for that."
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be quite a few more.
So I've been told.
Yes, everybody. I'm so happy I get to do this, but this is my uncle Maxius.
Maxus.
Maxis. The head of Chaosian fleet design.
Like that. Head engineer Maxis. One of the top engineers out of KO-35. I worked with a bunch of the crews on many of our projects. One being the Gamma here, the other the Astro Megaship itself. And since that, and one liaison to the Alliance ships themselves. A pleasure to meet you.
Dwayne is gonna give him a handshake, but it's kind of gonna be that handshake that mechanics would give to each other.
Do mechanics have a handshake? I don't know.
Or some, basically, it kind of would be with a familiarity that mechanics would have with each other. It's like one mechanic to another because his mother is mechanic, so that side of the family is coming out in him at this moment.
Yeah, okay, yeah, like that. He takes your hand, Dwayne, shakes it. So, that. You don't need to be a genius to understand that if Rangers are out and about, something big's going down. That's probably why they've got me and my crew run ragged. So, as he says that, Kester walks past on a data pad and he goes, "That's why we're running ragged and you're doing half the job." As he walks up the ramp, and then Max is kind of like throws like a spanner like up at him, and Kester just kind of dodges it. Losing your edge, Chief.
At least he can. At least he can dodge.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge anything.
Max just kind of goes.
I see you still haven't lost doing that as a hobby.
That Kester's one of my best. He's just a snarky son of a. Never mind. Still, you were saying the gamma, that, talking about how you could equip the gamma to your megazords. Must say I've never had the pleasure of working on a megazord other than the Astro Mega ship, and it was more ship than it was Zord. Well, ask me anyway.
Ours is more of a combiner.
You're not wrong. Like I said, I imported the code myself. In fact, had the Gamma moved out of a prototype phase, I actually had a proposal for the Alliance.
Oh?
I wished for the Gamma and the Astro Megaship to combine, kind of fusing it together. I called it the Project Astro Gamma Megaship, or Megazord. Still, times changed and situations must. It never got off the floor. Like I said, the old girl was just left in storage. The fact that it was even salvaged, it was a mystery to me. Didn't even think that old.
Tell you how,
Twitch, I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Sure.
What did we get a name for the base that the Zords are at the moment?
It's just that giant so the satellite that you liberated all that time ago when you rescued Dex.
Yeah.
There's there's no name for it. It's just a giant satellite where where the Zords are stored. It's now firmly in Alliance space. It does have the capability to move. It's being fixed, like it was, the damage like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does have it's got.
So it doesn't have a name.
It doesn't have a name. No, it doesn't really have a name. It's just, it's just where you store the Zords, the cyber, like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I come up with a name, I come up with a name. But it was, it's just where the Zords are stored.
Fair enough. Right, it might make it a little bit harder for what I'm about to say next, but yeah, Dwayne's gonna be like, a man with your talents, I'm surprised that you didn't get snatched up and sent to that base that our Zords were found at. How did a man like you get out of that grasp?
Well, I'm the head of KO-35. I go wherever I'm needed to here. I'm the leading authority, and I've been here since the fall of the first factories.
Taught me everything I know. I know what you're saying.
But that's still kind of like, never mind. It's just a case of a man with your skill set. You would think that the United Alliance of Evil would have marked you as a very high value target to snatch.
Oh, they probably have. My reputation precedes itself. I'm not tooting my own horn there. But I've managed to keep myself more or less away from the main line of fighting. Any of our ships, tanks, ground vehicles need fixing, I'm there. There's not much else I can do.
When this is all said and done, by the way, I have something I've been working on in the background. I think you actually might be a little interested in.
He kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh?"
unfinished business, as it were. You might be able to guess what I'm talking about now.
Oh. That pipe dream of yours, eh? Still not giving up.
Would you help teach me any other way?
Ambitious as you are, boy. I'll tell you now what I told you then. That the sheer size and grandeur is well out of our scope of engineering. Although, now that you've got those fancy Zords, maybe if you passed it off to someone at your SPD place, maybe they could give it a whack.
Look,
We do answer directly to Kruger. We could pass it up the chain to him.
You are talking about what I think you're talking about, right, Deluna?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Right. That's cool.
Like, if I can find anyone crazy enough to build it, it'd be a game changer.
Well, my advice to you is to focus on the here and now. Considering you lot have been given a mission, I'm told, like that. I'll serve it like that. So my crew is at your service for any prep and anything that you would need. However, that that SPD dropship won't let us in.
Yeah, that's Sigil. He's mine.
A dropship with an AI? Since when does SPD outfit their ships with those?
They don't. It's a very special one.
Long story.
So, yeah.
You can't.
But he's mine, and I'm actually gonna have a quick word with him, so that we can get what we need sorted out.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. And one last thing. The putty patroller on your ship.
Fungus.
It has a name?
Yes, it does. That's a long story on how we met, but he's a good one.
When everything is calmed down and over and done with, whatever it is you need to do here, I should very much like to hear these stories, nephew. However, time's a wasting.
You'll be the first.
He kind of turns around and he just shouts, goes, "All right, you grease monkeys, time's wasting. Get on up there and do what you need to do. Come on, move it." And you see
There's the voice I grew so fond of.
You just see a bunch of the text that were just kind of like moving around. They just, all of a sudden they kind of snap up and they all start running over to the Gamma and to other ships in the surrounding area. Moving stuff. And as you come back, like there's some people like moving crates up onto the Gamma. There's some moving crates off. Goes, well, and Daxon goes, well, surprised to be sure, Nova, my boy, but wish not to rain on your parade. We do have a mission.
No, I understand. This was a gift. I'll treat it like such.
Although I am curious, what? And this, Professor Daxon is like making the motion into the ship now as he like passes a bunch of people. I am curious, though, my boy. What project were you talking about? And why would he assume that you'd need a Zord specialist for it?
Let's just say that if things had gone differently, we wouldn't be talking about the Gamma right now. We'd be talking about my little, or as he called it, pipe dream. This one I'm gonna keep close to the chest, Professor, because it's a game changer, to say the least.
Dwayne's gonna like pat Nova on the head and is like, in some universities you may have already finished it. Who knows? And then he kind of just walks past.
The fact that you know that is very, very. Anyway.
Oh no, Dwayne's saying that kind of like guessing, but it's kind of like it's that sort of knowledge of like, because he knows that there's alternative universes. It's like it's that kind of comforting aspect of like in some universes you may have already have done that. Then again, there's other universes where you may not have equally, but he's not saying that part.
So, you make your preparations and everything. There's, still there's some commotion like that. In amongst
Is
making
Sigil
your,
still sassy?
of course, Sigil's still sassy.
Is day in and why?
Amongst your preparations, you all find, you all see that Dane and his crew mount up in their ship, and they take off, seemingly to do whatever it is they do. And they fly off in a direction, not dissimilar to what where you're going, but
Twitch.
oh,
Does Sigil have like any kind of communication with me when I'm outside of the dropship?
Good question. I'm going to say no. Well, no, actually, oh no, yeah, he would. It would be like Glyph via communicator.
Could he like just so he can contact me on the Morpher?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that he's going to say, like Sigil, is like, just keep an eye on that particular ship, just in case. And if they do happen to show up close by to where we're supposed to be going, give him a call.
You want me to keep my eye on a ship that I can't see because it's just left the hangar?
Well, you know what I mean. Anything that kind of matches that particular ship.
You
With
want
those
to know
three
if that
inside?
ship shows up while we're on the mission?
Yes.
Why did you not say that?
That's what I was saying.
Roundabout way.
But yes, give me a call on the Morpher.
Yeah. So yeah. You are all now prepared. Could you please declare, as of right now, what it is you all are taking with you? You're all going to be outfitted with snow gear. That is a given. But any other extra equipment like med packs, any other spare weaponry, that kind of stuff. I need you to declare now.
Let me see. Remind me, it was my knife that I left on the ship, right, for upgrading?
Yeah.
So I don't have that with me. I still have the standard, like, unmorphed laser pistol, so I'd be bringing that with me.
Yeah, you've all got, the standard stuff that they all like that, but whatever, like, extra things you get, like, that are going to be in, like, your packs or whatever.
Probably.
I'm trying to see what I've got that's upgrading at the moment.
Oh, crap, yeah, what did you did have stuff upgraded, didn't you? What was it that you were...
Right, okay, so my Phantom Laser is upgrading, and...
So you don't have access to your Phantom Laser?
No, but I will have access to the Strike Blaster. Yep. Access to Cyber Axes, Cyber Saber. I'm gonna definitely bring the Claw Gauntlets, because those are fully upgraded.
Yep. That's for your
Frag,
unmorph. The claw gauntlets are your
crystal,
unmorph form, right?
concussion, yeah.
Rocco,
Did I have...
You upgraded something, didn't you,
Yeah,
Rocco?
it was my knife. I don't think that's ready yet, though.
No,
I think we said it was going to take a while.
Yeah, we did the rolls for that.
Unless I can, like, swipe a basic combat blade just from
You can,
one of the guys' munitions here on the base.
You could definitely try. Definitely do that. It just wouldn't have any of the upgrades that you have wished for on your strike knife, so it would just be
it's just base. Yeah, it would just be a base knife.
Yeah, it was statted the same as your knife that you had before.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she would swipe a combat knife if she can from the base. Just anything she can get her hands on would do.
Yeah, it's easy enough.
Definitely the SPD SWAT suit as well.
Does our power box count as like standard equipment for like the survival gear and stuff?
Yeah.
Because I would have that on me as well.
Yeah, you've all got like a power box, as it were.
Yeah, Dwayne's got a little bit of acid, a little bit of antitoxin, crowbar, chain, climber's kit, engineering kit, med kit, the binoculars, rations or canteen if we want them. He does have flammable oil. He might take a few more flasks. How many could he get?
It sounds like you're pretty much full on what you got, really.
I've only got the one flask of the flammable oil, so just kind of
but you've also got a lot more by the sounds of it. You got a lot more stuff. You can't have like an infinite amount of
true
things. Other people could carry other things, is what I'm saying. So, for instance, you said you had a medical pack, correct?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
I've also got my engineering kit.
Yeah, Aero being good at medicine could probably keep all the medical stuff in his pack for whatever reason. But again, I don't know, Orchid, if you're taking anything.
Orchid has her usual loadout, which includes medkit, engineering kit, extra stuff she's brought for this mission, basic survival stuff like climbing gear, and then ropes and stuff. Like anything like that she thinks, because she's being extra protective because Daxian's coming.
Yeah, Daxian himself has got a basic kit loadout like that. He's even himself brought he's got his own like sidearm with him. He's got that and everything else. So I'll say that you all have just standard equipment, standard like winter equipment, and then whatever extra you wish to bring, you can declare it now. If you do not declare anything now, you will not be able to use something in the midst of the rest of the mission.
So Nova would get the med kit or his own med kit just because, like, he knows having as many of those as possible is a good idea.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, can't put all our eggs in one basket. Do we have anything seismic or any scanner related equipment?
At least for Orchid, I am the scanner, and I have my glyph drone, which is my extra scanner.
You would, there would be, normal scan. You have scanning tech on the ship.
Yeah. And since we're probably going to be going underground, do I want to get any more rope on top of what I've already got, or would that be too much?
That would be too much. You all have, I'm going to say you all have a standard survival kit, which would have rope, warm clothing, all like that. Basic winter survival kit. It's the extra
Right.
rangery stuff that I'm asking you to declare.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't be halfway through, like, in a situation just after a battle and be like, oh, I use this, because I'm going to ask, did you say you had it?
Where did you get that?
Yes.
I can't think of anything else at the
Neither can
moment.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll just grab a med kit and call it a day.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, a med kit and then maybe some grenades or for his own personal use.
Yeah, I also want to grab some grenades. I would probably grab like 2 frag and then a couple flashbangs.
Call them by the proper vernacular, please.
Boom apples.
Yes, boom apples.
Call back. Yeah, you can let us. As long as you add them to your sheet, that's fine. I'm pretty sure Rosso can provide.
I believe
The
it's the
stat.
lowest that you have of your speed determines how much you've got in terms of max grenades.
Yeah.
So my speed is 6.
So you can take 6.
So yeah, she would do 2. Hold on, I've got
Where
the
you
PDF
got
up.
that rule from?
Yeah, where's that rule come from?
I do remember I wrote it down somewhere because I think it was you, Tom, that actually suggested it.
That might have been for.
Oh, right, no, okay, no.
Is
That
this
might-
a home?
Right, okay, so I found it. It's not speed, it's your lowest essence score. That was it.
Was this a homebrew for the?
For your grenade launcher
Amount
pistol?
of grenades that I have, yes.
So
Yeah,
for
so
me,
it's-
it would be
Wait,
4
hold
because
on,
my
hold on.
smarts.
Hold on. Because we homebrewed a lot with Rosso because he did the grenade Judge Dredd pistol thing.
That wasn't just for grenades. That
That
was
was
for
that was
ammo.
specifically for stuff for Rosso.
When it comes to weapons, you can carry a maximum of 6 hands worth of weapons.
Yes. Which is why I'm asking you all specifically to
So,
declare what
for
you're bringing.
example, my glaive is 2-handed. My pistol is 1-handed. That's 3 hands. I could take 3 grenades as well, and that would make my loadout of 6 hands worth.
Because you may not have access to them when you like that. When you morph, you gain access. Well, no, for you, Tom, your glaive doesn't count until you morph.
Well, no, it's still that's the loadout of what you can take with you. You don't have access to it till you morph.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have a separate loadout for being unmorphed and morphed.
You just lose. I thought you did.
I thought it was just you have this hands worth of stuff. It's only you only have access to certain things while morphed.
Okay. Right.
If you want to rule, we have a full unmorphed loadout and a full morphed loadout. Sweet.
Because you lose access to your unmorphed stuff when you morph.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that your morphed gear and your unmorphed gear are separate. At least that's how I have assumed you've all been playing it.
That's how I've been doing it.
That's how I've been playing it.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll continue on with that.
So what I
essentially
have
has
been
6 hands worth unmorphed and 6 hands worth morphed.
Yeah. And that's not
Yeah.
6 hands worth of weapons and 6 hands worth of equipment. That is 6 hands worth of equipment and weapons. So be vigilant. The only one of you in the group that has access to their morphed weapon unmorphed, as we know, is Scott because of the Green Ranger spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. And I'm going to say, on Scott's behalf, I am going to say he doesn't really take any extra weaponry, but he does have the standard survival kit, and he does have a med kit in there as well. So, Marika, you said you're taking 4 grenades?
Yes, 2 frag, 2 flashbang.
Flashbang, cool. You have your unmorphed pistol
Yes.
and your unmorphed knife.
Yes.
That's your 6.
Yep.
Arrow, what have you got? Arrow.
Yeah. Sorry.
What have you got, equipment-wise? You've all got an unmorphed pistol, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so you got a standard laser.
Well, that's
I do.
the laser pistol that everyone picked up is that unmorphed weapon.
Yeah, the unmorphed.
Correct.
Yeah, you have an unmorphed. So you've all got an unmorphed there. So that's 1 slot gone. So you have 5 left.
I have just a standard blaster and standard laser blaster, which I'm assuming is pistol and rifle.
So, wait, on your sheet?
The strike, no,
Yes.
the strike blaster
No,
is your morphed pistol. Your laser pistol is your unmorphed pistol.
Yes, I see that, but I see on mine near the bottom standard blaster and
Oh.
standard laser blaster, and they have different ranges.
Oh, Arrow has 2 different blasters on him. Unmorphed. He's just got a standard blaster, then there's an Alliance standard blaster. I see what
Oh,
what he means.
because everyone was given a standard blaster first, and then everyone went and got a laser blaster as well.
Yeah.
So it's on you if you want to keep both with you, or just take one of them with you.
I mean, I'm a terrible shot anyway, so I'll leave behind the Alliance blaster.
Cool. So you have the standard
Do you want
blaster.
us?
Red.
Do you want us to take things off our sheet that we're not actually taking with us?
As long as you keep note of it, I'm okay with that.
There is a tick. That's your indicator.
Yeah. The tick there is like, so if you've got it, so anything you're not taking with you, don't, like, just untick it. But yeah. So you got your standard blaster. Did you say you were taking a med kit?
Gear doesn't have ticks, does it?
Oh no, you're right. Gear doesn't have ticks.
I just added to gear and labeled it March 28th.
Cool. Yeah. Is med kit a gear?
Yeah, it's a kit.
I
Med
put
kit.
that into yes, part of my gear, but I put it into like the power box
Yeah. Okay.
for me.
Yeah. Cool. So is that all you're taking, Arrow?
Yeah.
Cool. Nova, what are you taking?
He is taking a med kit, 2 frag grenades, and 2 flashbang.
Okay, so that's 5, and your standard blaster, that's 6.
Yep.
So that's everyone, correct?
Yep.
Cool. Keep note of that, of what you've got, and we will. So all of that is now stocked. Everything is in. You are ready to prepare and leave the hangar. Leave the hangar in the dropship. The hangar is big enough for the dropship to not, to disembark from the Gamma from where it is, from where it's latched onto. And it's already disembarked from the Gamma, and the command ship itself has also disembarked from where it was stored on the Gamma. And it is now underneath. So as you go over, you can see that the command truck is there. It's been outfitted with some snow wheels. Courtesy of the crew, of Maxus and his crew. You were all just about ready to make your way to your designated zone. So I'm going to need a piloting roll from whoever's piloting the ship.
I'm assuming that's gonna be me.
Well, you can assume all you want. I need someone
Is that
to fly the
is
ship.
that driving?
Yeah, piloting, driving, yeah.
Well, I can give edge
Driving.
to whoever's doing it then.
Yep. You guys don't mind if I take that then?
I don't mind. What's your driving at?
4.
Mine's 4 as well.
Anyone else have a better driving skill?
Barely passable at a 2.
Hey, if you're taking it in character, go for it.
All right. Anyone want to give me an upshift or anything like that? Can you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dwayne's giving you an upshift or an
So-
edge.
Nova is piloting, Dwayne is the co-pilot.
Yeah.
Cool. No one else can help on this. It is because it is a 2-person cockpit.
Makes sense.
So Nova, please give me the piloting roll or the driving roll.
Yep. Here we go.
Ooh,
With a 6. Holy shit.
right.
Can I
Well,
can I use this? Or I can re-roll that if I use a story point.
nope. Only on a fumble.
Dang it.
Oh, it's me that can do that.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of, we need to add a.
I've just
yeah,
done it.
That.
I've just done it.
That just reminded me.
Yep, that's fine. Let me double check the ruling on this. That's the wrong book. I need to cross the stars. Glad I have the PDFs because trying to go through the hardcover books that I have now put in a storage box in my thing because I don't know where to put them currently. You rolled a 6. Eee. Hmm. Okay, so
Wait, I'm kind of reading Mending the Grid, and I'm kind of wondering. I'm gonna read it off. Is that okay?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Upon reaching 5th level, Phantom Rangers see the changes their actions have made to strengthen, mend, and ward the fabric of the morphing grid. Despite cryptic missions and strange orders, your confidence that your every effort matters grows. Even if only you and the Master see the fruits of this labor. You may now spend a story point to reroll any failed skill test instead of just results of 1, and when you do so, the rerolled skill test gains an up to shift bonus. But that's not very clear on whether that's me or if that's someone else.
I think that's you specifically because it's in the Phantom Ranger grid.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that is
If
Phantom
it was
Ranger
for
specific.
everyone, it
Yeah.
would specifically say any person's role.
Yeah.
True, what threw me is when it said reroll any failed skill test.
Yeah.
So,
Of yours.
Yeah.
I
Within your table, I would assume that is because it's in the Phantom Ranger table.
fair enough.
Sorry, one sec. I'm just calculating the damage that your ship is going to take.
I mean, you could make the argument because you lended assistance, it's partially yours, but it's
Yeah, but
still
it's
not actually
really
your
yours.
role.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to make that argument now because I think Twitch is doing something.
Well, it's just it's cinematic fluff. Okay, so you are going to take. Yeah, did it say 1d6? I believe it said 6. Yeah. Okay. So, Bad Planet. Yeah. So you're
Anybody
only
who's ever driven.
So you're only going to take 2. So the ship's only going to take 2 points of damage. So you're down to 9. So it's down to 9 health, and I'm going off the Phantom Ranger baseline ship health for that. You take off, and it's snow. You're unfortunately going out into the heart of a snowstorm.
Above game, anyone who's ever driven in snow knows exactly how fucking hard it is to do so.
Yeah. You take off and stuff like that, and as you go, like the snowstorm increases, and you're unable to see a lot of the atmospheric, the atmosphere around you. It's like that's
Visibility.
Like
is
yeah,
shit.
you are snow blind basically. There's a few close calls. One, you just scrape enough. Sigil informs you that it's surface level damage. It can be easily repaired. It does, however, take you longer to get to this forward base than originally intended. Everyone make me a group alertness check, please.
Ooh, I'm slightly good at those.
Perception?
Come on!
Alertness perception, yeah.
I'm gonna spend a story point to specialize.
16.
Ooh, I critted with a 22.
Crit 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will roll for Scott. Alertness. He's specialized in perception. Didn't know that.
Above board, do we want to add a med kit for or grenades for Scott?
I just
Or
said
will we
that.
get
No,
with them
no.
later?
I just said he took a med kit. The only thing that Scott took was a med kit because
Cool.
he has access to his ranger weapon outside of it. Scott rolled an 11, so crit 22, crit 9. Well, Dwayne got that. You rolled an alertness of okay. So, well, you're very lucky. With 1, 2, 3, with 3 of you, no, 1, 2, 3, yeah, with 3 of you passing, there's only half the group needs to succeed the group roll. But with Arrow's crit, with Arrow, just behind, working on not in the co-pilot seat, but just behind the cockpit in one of the sensor, in one of the sensor chairs, crew chairs, he is allowing, an extra set of eyes. Basically, he's kind of like with scans and the rest of it. You all suddenly, especially you, Arrow, suddenly you hear a rattling from one of the storage boxes.
Hell's that?
Trains a well, I can only assume we've got a stowaway.
Professor Daxian stands up, goes over to the storage box and carefully opens it. And as he does, sitting upright from the storage box, after being crammed in there, is Pungus.
Hey, what you doing here?
That Professor Daxian flabbergasted. What? I echo this statement. What are you doing here? And Pungus kind of like stands up, gets out of the, he stumbles out of the box, and he kind of just, he makes his wild waving gestures as if to say, and trying to convey that he didn't want Professor Daxian to go without Pungus being there to protect him. Which is essentially what Orchid was doing, but Pungus wanted to be there because, like that. And he also looks around at everyone else. He's just like he wants to help. Basically what he's been saying.
Looks like you have a bodyguard, Professor.
Yes. Well, it's too late to turn back now.
Sorry, Professor. You've been adopted, and your son wants to protect you.
If anything, it's actually probably better that he's with us than him, Gamma.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree on that, but I've told him before to stay out of the way on the Gamma.
Trust me, if the firefight happens, it would be easier for him to have been with us, so he's a lot safer. Trust me, especially when you
it's too late to go back.
Yeah.
As I said, it's too late to go back now. We carry on. And Punga's kind of looking happy with himself, just kind of like, hello.
As much as I love our allies, I don't trust them to not be jumpy when they see when they see our good friend here.
So, all of you land at the forward base. You get there eventually. They they come through on the over the communications array. You get the permission to land in the small hangar that's there. The XOs on site make the comment of, we were expecting you hours ago, but what with the weather it is, the way the weather is at the moment, they're not surprised that you are all that you're late. They give you the update on that because of the heavy weather fall, is that you're very unlikely to come across any stray patrols, but to keep an eye out anyway. As I now need someone to give me a driving roll for the command truck as you make your way out to the city.
All right, take two. Let's go.
Hello.
Actually, I was going to say, can I do that this time?
Actually, yeah. Let's see if it doesn't hate you as much.
Yeah.
Only one person. Yeah, only one person can drive the SPD truck. By the way,
he will definitely give you the advantage and all that.
Yep.
21.
Easy like that. Driving is a lot easier, especially since the SPD command truck is lower down. It seems like the snowstorm was worse in the air than it is on the pole. It's still pretty bad, but it's not as bad, and you're able to make things out. And with some of the SPD sensors and everything, it's a lot easier to keep an eye on the road that you need to take. It takes about 2 hours to get from the forward base to the city. You do not run into any sort of ambush or run like that. It's very quiet, and you get the feeling that because of the weather, it's like they said, it's because of the weather. You arrive on the outskirts of the city, and it's... Well, I'll give you, just to give you a... It's a mess. I don't know if you can all see this. This is not an accurate representation. It's just the best one I could find that wasn't fucking AI.
I just see black.
It's all black.
Why is it doing this again?
Google, if you do a Google search and include the word fuck, it will not do AI.
I've heard that, but yeah, it's like that. So yeah, it's just a representation of it. Ignore the giant mech in the background of it. I believe this is like a Terminator concept art, but this is basically the vibe of the Dead Zone that you've come across. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. As long as everyone can see it, it's fine. But yeah, you are in this crazy, it's like, and you see this city that it was obviously, made for civilians to live in, and everything else, but it is abandoned, and the roads are impassable. It's like you would not be able to drive to the inner city where you need to get to using the SPD command truck. But there is a small outcrop where you can hide it so that it's out of the way.
Yep, Dwayne will park it there.
So as you are doing that, like, Professor Daxian's looking out the ports, like the window, just like, yeah, raw. Such wanton and wasted destruction. It appears that we'll be heading on foot from here, Rangers, though.
Looks one step removed from what happened on what was the Trek's planet?
Oh, Zybria?
No, his own personal prison planet.
Oh, it was just a prison planet. It wasn't called anything. It was just a planet.
Yeah, Dwayne's going to say it looks like one step removed from Rex's prison planet.
It is a war zone, after all. Keep your wits about you, Rangers, and we shall go.
As Dwayne kind of like steps out, he starts doing that cat thing where it's like when they start stepping on like cold stuff, like the back legs, one leg just like shakes and then the other one just shakes.
Yeah. So you're now making your way through this city. As you are walking to the inner city, there are some buildings that seem to be in good act. There's the telltale signs of battle. There's craters that in the road. That there's debris of downed quadrifighters. You can see some, rusted and broken cogs. You can see some other things that you've never seen before. There's obviously Alliance tech here. It's pretty rough.
Well, if I was someone who designed a highly secret underground base, where would I put the entrance?
Right where you know they wouldn't look.
Opens arms, motions to the big ass town that they're standing in.
Is there anything that's kind of door shaped or?
Oh, there's
anything
a bunch.
cool?
Yeah, there's a bunch of doors to like some of the buildings that are currently standing. Still, like that. There's plenty of stuff like that. There's buildings, there's stuff that kind of looks like a shop. There's like there used to be shops. Ones that look that look like they used to be like an entertainment center. Others that look like just like
Dwayne's gonna like walk in and just be like looking around and trying to see if there's any.
You're just gonna walk into one of the buildings, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. So
do a. Sorry. Continue.
So in the immediate area, like I said, there's one that kind of looks like it was like a convenience store. There was another one that kind of looks like it was an information center and everything, and the other one looks like it. The other one, quite a big looking building. It's like a destroyed skyscraper type deal. It looks like it would have been like an apartment complex, a living complex. Which of the three would you walk into?
You know
Dwayne.
what? Dwayne's kind of got a tingle. He's going to go for the convenience store first.
Sure. Is anyone following Dwayne?
Nova would be right next to him.
Cool. Orchid, what were you trying to do?
This is happening before I can react. So what I was doing is just I'm gonna have a look around the area to see what has been most recently disturbed. You know, like if there's any
Okay.
signs.
That's cool. I want you to
where
imagine
people
that.
have been
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, and I want you to imagine that this is happening all at the same time. Like you are currently investigating. Like you're all like that. You're not like so. You're still nearby the group, but you're doing that. Give me a survival check, Orchid, please.
Can Marika assist? She would also be looking for like any signs of like recent activity.
You can both do a separate survival roll each if that's what you were doing, because I don't think Orchid has voiced that they are doing this.
I have not.
So Orchid, give me your survival roll, and Marika, if that's what you were doing as well, please give me your survival roll. Nice.
A good roll for once.
Alright, not bad. Marika, even though it's still kind of windy and stuff, a lot of like the buildings kind of shield away from the worst of it. But you know, you got your goggles on, you got your hood up, something like that. You're looking around. If anything looks disturbed currently, you can't tell whether it's via unnatural means or it's just debris falling from like the wind knocking it over, or just damage, you know, holding on like a wire that's finally let go under pressure of what it's holding up or whatever. And Orchid, the same goes for you. The weather is just that little bit too heavy for your scans currently, and much like Marika, you can see you both see signs of disruption, but you can't tell whether it's man-made, unnatural, or it's just because things are all broken and destroyed around you. At least not in this outer part of the city in which you are in.
What were the other two buildings outside of the convenience store that you mentioned?
An information center and what looked like the entrance to an apartment/living complex.
Marika would head over to the info center kiosk, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's fine. Before you do that, we will just reconvene with Dwayne and Nova. Well, so actually, Aero, what are you doing?
I am following Nova's lead.
Cool. So the three of you have gone into the convenience store. Scott is sticking with Professor Daxian, Orchid, and Pungus. Marika. Well, no, actually, Scott will follow Marika. Just so that there's someone nearby. As Marika goes over there. Aero, Nova, and Dwayne, you enter this convenience store, and it is just that. It looks like it's just. It was a shop for buying supplies, food, the lot. You know, it's like you can see the telltale signs of like destroyed products or whatever else just there. But the reports seem like that you've not come across like any casualties, like or evidence of casualties. It looks like, true to what was said, that it was completely evacuated before any damage could befall the populace.
So what Dwayne's going to be doing in this particular room is he's going to check behind like the counter, and he's going to kind of look like underneath, kind of like where you would expect things like a panic button. Like, is there like an additional button or something like that? Something that may indicate like a hidden switch, anything that may be like shelves that are like could potentially cover up doors. He's gonna like shift them to the side and have a look behind and see if they are covering up something. And he's also gonna check like the back because there may be something in the storage area or whatnot that could potentially be hiding something, like a secret entrance.
Yeah, sure. Give me. Guess this would be another alertness perception check, wouldn't it? Yep. Give me an alertness.
Does Nova and Era want to assist in?
If the three of you are searching this building, it will be a group roll between the three of you.
Sounds good.
So I need you all to give me alertness perception checks, please.
Okay.
Lurvin.
16.
Only one of you
6.
passed.
Why? SS20,
Well, the SPD agent is the one that got the 16, so that's to be expected.
Yeah. However, yeah. You all three of you start searching this place, but there's nothing there. It's just a convenience store. It's like there's not, it's just there. There's obvious signs of like whatever attack you swept through and took whatever they thought may have been useful, but it's just that. It's just a building.
Do you guys find anything?
Nothing over
Got
here.
a rock.
Nice callback. Convenience stores out. Captain, what are you up to?
Just shout from the other side. I'm at the info kiosk.
Dwayne was kind of doing that like morpho or communicator sort of like thing and not necessarily shouting.
Okay, fair. Yeah, she would just say, I'm at the info kiosk. We looked outside, doesn't seem to be anything that looks like recent activity, and even if it was, it's hard to tell with the weather.
Okay, well, we'll frog leap this then. We'll start doing the apartment buildings.
Copy.
Professor Daxian, on his personal communicator he's brought with him, said that it could take hours, even maybe days, to check all these buildings individually. I'm not picking anything up on the scanner that's off. That is even slightly a slight anomaly.
Which means they did a good job hiding it.
Marika, what are you trying to find at the information kiosk?
Basically just sifting through any like pamphlets or anything that would give her an idea of like.
So okay. So there's nothing like that there. It's been like anything like that would have been like destroyed, burnt away, whatever.
Right. If there's like maybe like a computer terminal that still works or something like that.
There's a terminal there. There may be heavy damage on it, but you could try.
I'm not the most technology centered person. I'll give it a shot, and if not, I'll probably radio the boys.
Sure. Give me a science technology roll, please.
That's 16.
Yeah. So you move some of the snow that's got on it and a little bit more of the debris that's there over, and you find a screen, and you tap you find the power on. You tap a couple of buttons, and mercifully, very very like almost struggling, the console does light up.
Yeah, and she's just gonna be typing and just trying to dig for anything that's maybe on there that can help.
Specifically, what?
I mean, obviously we know about like the secret facility. I don't think they would have anything on that, but anything that would push us in the right direction of like, hey, this is this is where civilian land. This is where like anywhere that would be like the heaviest traffic, basically.
Okay, so are you kind of like looking to see like a map of the entire city?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, you're able
If
to
she
pull
can
up.
get that.
Yeah, you're able to pull up some information like the city layout as it was, even though the screen's flickering on and off. You have the residential areas, which are the more homey types. You have the inner part of the city, which is where you are now. You have the ship port for ferrying people to and from the factories and stuff. This was either by ship or by like a monorail type deal. There's like a park and like a recreations area of the city that people can go to and stuff like that. So it's basically like a basic city, like a layout of a city and everything like that. Nothing telling you anything about like how much traffic goes through certain areas or whatever.
I mean, she'd probably like definitely mark the like the ship depot or the area where those come from as a possible designation.
Yeah.
And then she would send the map and everything over to Orchid and Dwayne.
This isn't the kind of information you can send. It's basically stuff that is just brought up on this computer.
Okay.
The console doesn't have the capability to like that. It's just there.
Could I bring Orchid in to scan it?
I mean, you could bring someone in to take a look at it so that multiple people know the directions in which you need to go, but it's still a busted console.
Okay. Yeah. She'll get on the communicator and relay the information. I found a map of the area. I can't pull it off of the console, but at least we can all take a look at it.
Understood. I'll head over.
I go head over.
Daxian heads over with Pungus as well, just to get some cover out of the wind and the snow. Nova, Dwayne, Arrow, do you respond to this or?
Just repeat what was said.
Marika's found a map of the city in the info kiosk that they managed to boot up, but there's no way to transmit that information off because, again, it's a busted up console.
Well, does it all fit into one screen?
A zoomed out version of it does, yes.
Proceeds to zoom it out, screenshots it, wink, distributes it.
Perfect.
I'll allow
Would this
it.
be sufficient?
Hey, it could have reduced information because it's zoomed out, but
It has. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it just shows the areas that you've got. Nothing specific.
A picture's as good as anything. Outside of that, if there's nothing else left in the building, she would join everybody in the apartments.
Well, you're all currently
I-
in the information. Well, yeah. Go ahead.
Can I
Dwayne?
try to?
Yeah. Sorry.
Can I try to dig deeper into the information kiosk? Have a
You,
poke around, see if I find anything else
yeah, you can certainly try.
using the techno voodoo that I do.
Yeah, you can try.
While Orchid is doing that, Dwayne's already kind of made like his start to the apartments, and he's kind of like trying to visually size up and think of like areas of where to start first.
I tried.
Yeah, you get into the system, Orchid, but it is incredibly damaged. Like, aside from this being like just an information department, like saying, like giving you bus times, giving you, schedules for when the next turnover shift is, or for directions to the medical facilities. There isn't anything on here that's, it's just city information.
Would I at least be able to just scrape enough data to make the screenshot I took have more information in it instead of just being the zoomed out one?
No.
It just has that extra layer of no. Okay.
Basically, like I think they're saying like, now that I know where everything is, let's make bullet points. Let's label everything.
Yeah, no, yeah. Again, it's a busted console. It's a miracle it's even still got power.
And at that, it's probably the equivalent of like a tourist map.
Yeah. As you do that, you all Professor Daxian follows Dwayne over and sets his pack down in like this the base floor of this apartment complex type deal, and goes, I think it's best if we rest here for a while, at least until the weather subsides. Not going to be able to get much done if we're fighting against the weather as well as everything else in this city.
That's fair.
So we can set up a small base camp here and try and consolidate any of our information. I can try and widen my area search.
Can Dwayne do a technology role? Or a technology engineering role?
What for?
Specifically to kind of look at the structure and be like, if there was going to be like a hidden entrance or something that's within it, what is the most likely place to put it? In a way that would also conceal it from prying eyes, and kind of like try and think three-dimensionally where in the apartment structure will probably be the best location to at least start in.
I wouldn't class that as engineering. That's more like architecture.
Yeah.
Or streetwise, if you're familiar with the hidden awareness of stuff.
Well, I mean, he's SPD, so he's also going to be kind of looking for like the telltale signs of SPD. So
that wouldn't be engineering, though.
That's not engineering.
Again, okay, would that just be streetwise then?
It could be streetwise. It could also just be another straight up perception check.
And they're both the same. Except the perception gives me a bit more. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since we're not doing a specific individual, I'm not going to pull that thing up. Okay, yeah, going to go for it.
You don't see nothing.
3? Jesus, what the heck? Wait. You know what? I'll spend a story point. I'll redo it.
You didn't fumble. That's not a fumble.
I don't have to.
Yeah, but
We just talked about this earlier.
Yeah, no, I know, but why are you spending?
As the Phantom Ranger, I don't have to fumble.
No, I know.
It's just
but,
a failed skill check.
Yeah, but why are you spending a story point?
Because that's what the mending the grid does.
You have to spend a story
Because he
point.
wants to.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a one-time deal. Okay, yeah, cool. You can spend a story point if the skill says spend the story point.
No, remember, he can do it as much as he wants to. It just costs story points.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and for that I also get like an up 2 shift as well.
Sure. Right. Well, you've spent a story point. There you go.
Jesus, what the heck?
You are in an apartment complex, specifically the main lobby.
I feel like I'm looking at the statue in Resident Evil 2 and being like, there's got to be something in underneath the statue.
Can I? You know what? Might as well try. Can I roll? See if I can see something on the map.
You can roll. Well, what map?
Or just to roll to see if I can find something.
Sure. Yeah. Give me a alertness perception check.
That's also a 10.
You are in an apartment complex, specifically the lobby.
Can I do a doting orchid perception check to make sure that seems okay?
Yeah, you can. You don't even need to do that.
He sounded a bit exasperated. Okay.
He's exasperated at just the situation they're in currently. But he's fine. He's just currently setting up a small. He's got his data pad and his little thing like that. And he's set it up on a desk and like a table nearby that he's pulled. Scott, for his part, Scott's started like putting as much like flammable debris in a small little area that he's got, and he's lit a fire. So that's what Scott's done.
You know, since we do have the screenshot of that map, can I do streetwise just on the basis of where would people who don't want to be seen go in town?
Yeah, you can.
I have D6 in this.
Ooh, well, that's a fumble, but a crit.
I saw the one and I was like, oh cool, a fumble, and then I forgot, oh, D6.
Yeah. So you got a 1 on the 20, but a crit on the skill itself. You look at the map, there's a bunch of like dark alleyways and stuff like that, but this isn't the kind of city where people would be doing shady dealings or anything, like, you know, who want like that. It was a place for people who weren't currently working just to come and sleep and chill out and live before they go back on their next shift. Nothing on the map shows anything out of the ordinary. It just looks like a really well-built city. But it did.
Dwayne's going to take a seat and just be like, I don't get it.
Oh, there's a shipyard in town where they kept all of the transits to back and forth. That might be a good place to go once the weather finally dies down.
I agree, that might be a good place to start. Just looking around these buildings indiscriminately isn't going to help us. They would need somewhere to go that is not so much discreet, but that people could easily disappear, and, well, that it would be the most obvious place, as people are coming in and out all of the time. There's also storage units just to the left. I believe that's what they are. I will find out. But yes, not much use unless we are able to see where we are going. However, now that we are situated and I'm we're here, maybe detailed scan of the area could provide a little more information. And as he says this, Professor Daxian is setting up like a small radar dish type thing out of his pack. He lays it just by the door of the apartment complex. They said that there was a communications array here. This communications array is, or has any form of power still there. Well, maybe I can bounce a signal from it.
Dwayne's going to kind of like look at the top of the building and be like, should we check the top floors then?
There is no top floor of this building. It's, I said the topmost floor would be whatever's left from the top of the skyscraper falling down.
Yes, that's what I mean. Sort of anything there that could potentially like either have the antenna sticking out of it or whatnot.
You could probably go up to the top and do a vantage point perception check. Just take into account that it is still currently a snowstorm.
Oh no, like not looking out on the city, just kind of going to the topmost level that's available and then kind of like looking around the building itself. But so I'll leave that to like the morning.
If you went to the topmost level of this building, because you can see like straight up, maybe up to the center, there's a glass ceiling above you, kind of like a domed glass ceiling, but it's covered in snow. So what you think it is that the lobby itself was like it's had its own little ceiling, and then as you go above it, you could see up straight through the middle of the apartment complex. So what you can derive from this is that there is no ceiling, above where you are. It looks as if the topmost part of the building is no longer there. So you'd be able to go up the floors, but you'd just come across like destroyed apartment. If anything else, there's not really much anything here. Again, it's just an apartment complex. All it is.
I get it, we're trying to find a secret area, but it's just an apartment complex.
It's just a chair in the middle of the room. Sorry, that's a critical role reference.
Yeah, no. But yeah, if that's basically all everyone wants to do, I will say that a couple of hours passes, and the weather lets up just enough so that it's not blinding. It's still a bit snowy, but it's not there. It's clear enough for you to go on it, and it is still quite light out, more or less. Professor Daxian has had no luck with his scans.
Would I have been able to assist him with little drone glyphs help?
More than certainly. Give me...
Even if we got nowhere, that's what I would have been doing in the 5 hours.
Make Professor Daxian will make the roll.
Then he gets
one up shift.
Edge.
No, edge.
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
I'm really good at helping.
Yeah, edge.
So he gets more than edge. Smiles.
What else does he get?
He gets edge from Uddle Drone Boy. Does this count as a group check or it doesn't count as a medical check? He also gets one upshift. So he gets edge and an upshift.
Okay, so it's not a medical check. Okay, so he gets edge and an upshift.
It's not a medical check. Yep. That's just by default from help from me and the drone.
This is a tech roll. Edge, upshift, and he's already specialized. Okay. That is a crit 22.
Mhm.
So, not, so the scans that, so rather than press dash, like, yeah, okay, between you and Daxian, you were able to bounce a signal off of the current communications array. There's still power flowing to it, but you assume that is residual power because there's still communication. There are other communication outposts on the planet, so you assume that it's still sort of connected to that frequency. But you know, aside from like bouncing a Morse code off of it, there's not much else. But it gave you enough power to kind of do a scan of the entire city. What you have found out is that you are not the only ones currently here. There are other signals that match cogs. And you can only and another slightly mechanical signal that you haven't encountered as of yet. But Professor Daxian says, well, guess that confirms Commander Denon's theory that there are patrols running through here. What could they be wanting here in a dead city?
Are we able to pinpoint a rough location of where they are to give us any hints?
Yes, we can. They seem... Heaviest of the patrols have come through the main sector and over the shipyards and the storage warehousing. The only reason I believe they would be going there is to start scrapping it. However, maybe they are also using the warehouse as storage.
Is that relevant to the primary, or is this abnormal?
Well, if they're over there, we can't rule out the fact that maybe they're searching for the same thing we are. Or it could just be that they are storing munitions here and... Well, it's as good as leaders we have, so even if there's nothing over there, we could at least get the one-up on them and destroy their munitions, helping the people on the planet.
Do you remember what Denon said about that little side objective?
Yes. I believe this is what he was saying. It's as good as...
Just making sure it's all recorded down.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
It's as good as lead as any. Let's pack down, and we should head over there as soon as we can.
Twitch. I do have to go very, very quickly, so
That's fine. We are literally about to end.
Okay.
Okay, we're nearly there. So you all pack down like that, and you make your way close like that. Now that the snow's going like that, you can see the full scale of the devastation of this city. It's bad. In fact, it's Nova. It's not unlike the invasion of KO-35. Like, it was a full scale invasion. Like, they came here to take over, and this is it. You know. Again,
Guys, I'm getting some serious flashbacks.
calm yourself, Nova. While hard for the devastation, we do not linger upon the past. I believe our destination is just up ahead. You.
And this
Yeah, go ahead.
and this time we are here with you as well.
Exactly. The 6 of you, sorry, the 6, 7, the 8 of you, walking along, Pungus in tow. The only one who seems completely unfazed by the weather, aside from Orchid. You walk up a little street. You go past the space dock area, like that. It looks a bit like that, but you make your ways towards the warehouse area. Very, as cautiously as you can. And as you enter, you walk around for about like 2 minutes, and then you get to like towards the center-ish of it. And then all of a sudden, you, whilst in the middle of the road, all of a sudden, bursting from some of the buildings around you. I'm assuming you can all see this, correct?
Yep, even the Pungus token.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore that token.
Yeah, like that. That's a temporary Professor Daxian token. I didn't plan to have a Daxian token, but it was like, oh shit, it's a necessary. If you're wondering where the art is from, it's from one of Tom's crazy alternate universe ideas. I'll show you the art after the show. You are ambushed by some familiar foes that you are familiar with. Some cogs, some blaster cogs, some putties, but there are other enemies that appear that you are unfamiliar with. There's these like bronze armored fish type beings. As you know, they are Piranatrons. They are under the employ of space pirate Divatox. And then one enemy foot soldiers that you've only seen in combat, and the ones that are usually only ever fight on the front of the battle. These are Quantrons. You don't know who commands these people, these minions directly, but they are here, and you are ambushed by these individuals.
Here's a question.
Sure.
Can I have Nova roll, like, I guess, a streetwise to remember, like, see if you remember seeing these guys during the KO-35 invasion?
You would have seen the Quantrons. They would have been there. They would have been there. You would need to roll for that. They were there.
And he knows what they're called and everything.
Yeah, no, all of you would know what they're called. You've just never seen them because they don't take on missions further out. They are like part of the elite fighting force. Like they fight on the front lines, is where their most fierce warriors are. But yeah, like there's crashing windows. There's some of them like creep out from behind these solar panels on like there's 2 on the roof over here. And you are surrounded in the middle of this warehouse sector. And Professor Dax, like you kind of like you all make a circle around Daxian and Pungus. And all of a sudden, and Dax is just like, well, it appears we found the welcoming committee. Well,
yeah,
Ranger,
you can say that.
Well, Rangers, as you were. Now, that is where we're going to end the session for today. And I will explain the situation you are in this combat scenario next time. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that went a lot quicker than I thought it would have. It's nearly 3 hours. Oh my god. That brings us to the end of Power Rangers CyberStrike episode 49, what I have called Frosty Receptions. Little pun. But yes, unfortunate that we lost Hard Luck before we even got to do anything. That sucks. I hope he's all right. I'm going to check up on him after the thing. But weather is as weather does. Of course, Rosso literally just had to leave. So we'll see him on the next episode. But like I said, we've just rounded out the tenure. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. We can continue to pick up where we left off. We'll be going straight into combat. But other than that, I hope everyone here enjoyed the session. I hope anyone who came in and lurked enjoyed the session. While I figure out if there's anyone online to raid, we'll just go down the list here. Choco, who are you and where can they find you?
Hello, I'm Chalk Zombie 101. You find me all over the social media as some form of Chalk Zombie 101. I stream on Twitch, especially on Tuesdays when myself, Real Hoshi, and Draco Magnus play through Baldur's Gate. We've entered the city and we're dealing with a murder mystery and many other things, so tune in for that. And also every other Tuesday when we're not doing that, you can find myself and Deluna along with many of our friends over on twitch.tv/BurnoutVon for Face of Our Lives, our Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. Wednesdays, you find me and Deluna over on Draco's channel along with all of our friends for Curse of Strahd, our latest campaign on his channel. And you can find all of us here on Fridays for this campaign.
Awesome. Cryptic, who are you and where can they find you? Sorry.
Yes, I'm Cryptic_Cyanogen, and you can find me at twitch.tv/Cryptic_Cyanogen, where Saturdays we host World Domination Wrestling, average out 3 hours of match time. So you know.
Awesome. Deluna, who are you? Where can they find you?
Hello, my name is 13. You can find me on Blue Sky, Twitter. Well, I gotta stop saying Twitter. Twitter's dead. But
Yeah.
anywhere else, you can find me at Dylan13. Everyone else already mentioned where I'm at. In terms of like Draco Magnus' channel for our or for any game nights or our Barovian Odyssey campaign, Burnout Bond's channel for Phase of Our Lives. That's pretty much about it for me here. It was a lot of fun, so I was really happy we were able to introduce Noah's uncle.
Yep, completely. Something that's been working, I've been doing in the works. If you hadn't guessed already, a lot with the Nova stuff like that, we are currently in the Blue Ranger arc. I feel comfortable announcing it now. It is the Blue Ranger arc. Scott, Mr. Hardluck, and Rosso had to. Of course, Hardluck, his power went out, and Rosso had to leave quite unexpectedly. But to give them their due, you can find them on their respective social medias. Rosso Ryu and Scott E. Stevens. I don't know them off by heart. The token art you see on screen was done by Rosso, and the overlay stuff was also done by Rosso. So, yes, thank you to them, and we will see them next week, hopefully. And finally, Tom, who are you? Where can they find you?
I'm Tom. You'll hopefully find me here next week.
Yeah, Tom's also the person who has done a bunch of the artwork you can see scrolling across your screen right here, as well as a bunch of other artwork in the background, and also helps me with a lot of the tabletop Foundry stuff, because if I had to do it by myself, I think my brain would melt. And of course, I am Twitch the person. You can find me here streaming. I've been streaming most recently a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds. Hoping to stream a bit more Siege because I like playing Siege with my friends. And also this ongoing tabletop series. And as I said, we hope to be back by next Friday. You can find me on all my social medias. They are below the in the description below, but you can find me on Blue Sky, Twitch the person, not on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook connected with anything else. And I am on Twitter, but I only keep it for my wrestling stuff and social networking with other people that hire me. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to go and raid a friend of mine by the name of Mecha GM, who's currently playing Cyberpunk 2077. Go and say hi, and hopefully we will see you all next time. Hopefully without any disruptions to my to the safety of my players, because Yeah, I wasn't expecting a power outage to hit my good pal Scott. Nevertheless, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, be kind. And if you can't be kind, keep it to your bloody self. Manners cost nothing in this world. We will see you all next time. Bye.